Welcome to Past the Stick / my other channel that this may or may not be on. How you doing? It's Jovan and I got
Michelle.
Yo.
We're back.
We back. So we are reviewing season 4, episode 2 of Black Mirror, and I like this one better than the first one. I think. I think.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. I like it better than the first one.
Yeah. Let me look at my notes because
he came prepared this time.
Yeah, I'm prepared. Last time it was like I just can't remember shit. So, okay, so Archangel. Ooh, it's pretty much about. Well, let's just start with step 1. Okay, cool. So it opens up. The lady, she's in a hospital. She's pushing the baby out her butthole, right? Alright, she's pushing the baby out her butt, and the baby wasn't responding. It wasn't crying or nothing like that. She was concerned. Cool. That's not really important to the story, but
it kind of highlights her attachment, normal attachment to her child and concern for it.
Duh.
I think that's why.
Yeah, I should have said it on that. Yeah. So fast forward it to 3 years later, right? So they're going out to a park, and the mom sees this lady that she knew, and they start talking. The girl Sarah, who's the little girl's name. See, I'm remembering names, right? The girl Sarah, she sees a little cat, right? And then the cat is running away. So Sarah chases the cat, and the mom was like, "Hey, Sarah, come meet this nice lady." Can't find the bitch, right?
They got the whole neighborhood looking out for her.
She got the whole neighborhood on watch.
She can't find her anywhere.
Right. So some brother, much respect to my brothers, right? Found this little girl, and wasn't she by the train tracks or something?
She was by the train tracks because she chased a cat.
Yeah, she was by the train tracks. And the mom was like, "Oh shit, I'm so scared." So pretty much that makes her go to this facility,
Archangel Corporations,
right? And she's talking to the lady like, what is this about? Pretty much it's in trial form, but they pretty much
it's in testing.
Yeah.
But they're allowing her child to be one of the testers, I guess. So she's able to access the full features, but this hasn't been released to everybody yet.
Which the doctor or the lab assistant, whatever, she's basically saying that all the kinks are worked out. It's just they don't have the subscription down. So pretty much it's works because the mom is concerned that the kid will be a guinea pig or whatever. So she pretty much shows her what this Archangel thing does, and pretty much it's like parental control on steroids. You can pretty much see everything that your kid is seeing, right? So that's crazy as hell.
And then you can add parental control, so if there's an image that you don't want them to see, it'll blur it if it's too intense. Right.
So you can see her, was it blood pressure or something like that?
And iron deficiency.
All that if her heart rate goes up or whatever, right? So it's crazy as hell. Pretty much what they were showing a little cartoon, and then they went to some guy shooting people.
No, they showed Men Against Fire, one of the previous Black Mirror episodes. That's what was on TV.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Men Against Fire.
Did I miss?
I said that out loud.
I was paying it. I was focused. I didn't hear.
But yeah, they were showing Men Against Fire when they were shooting at I forget what they call them.
Yeah, the people, the mutant looking people, but they weren't mutants.
Yeah.
Go watch that episode. It's a good episode.
You probably already have watched that episode, but you know what we mean.
Right. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it was Men Against Fire.
Okay. Cool. I haven't watched it in a while. Anyways, so I like that. I like how they did that. Yeah. I'm glad you said that. It's very meta.
Sometimes it's hard to remember. I've noticed they've had tiebacks in other episodes, but I don't necessarily catch all of them, a lot of the time I like see them on Reddit because someone will point out like, hey, in this episode they made a callback to like episode 1 of season 1 or whatever, and like I think it's really cool that Black Mirror does that.
That's pretty dope. Cool. Now I gotta look out for all that in the next episodes. But pretty much she blocks the video of the guy shooting. You know what I mean? So it's like all muffled and blurred out, right? And so I already knew from that point that it was about to be nuts. Like I'm thinking she's gonna kill somebody, or I don't know.
Turn
like
into a psycho.
She's crazy. I'm gonna show a clip.
Tell you.
I'm gonna show a clip. When she gets a little older. Anyways, let me not get to that yet.
If you can find it.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. So it's like parental controls implanting the kid. So you fast forward that
couple years.
Was she like?
She's like in
8?
elementary school or middle school.
Yeah,
or
she's probably like 8 or 9, right? And the first thing I noticed, I was like, this little girl looks like Michael Myers from Friday the 13th, the remake, the 2007 one, I think. I'm gonna show a little video or picture, but I'm like,
God.
this little girl. I'm like, this little girl about to kill somebody. I've seen this before. She is unstable. But pretty much they're at school, they're at recess or getting off, probably recess or something.
Yeah.
And
this dude's like trying to show everybody this video of like somebody getting beat up or whatever. It's like really aggressive and violent.
Yeah.
And the girl that he's with is like, oh, gross. Like, don't show us that.
Right.
Like, why'd you do it? But
it was on World Star or something.
Yeah,
like,
she can't see it. So she's like, what are you guys talking about? Like, what are you guys looking at? But like they know that she can't see it. So they're like, well, it doesn't matter to you, chiphead.
Right.
And they're like, you don't want to see it anyway.
Right.
And she's like, no, just can you at least like tell me what you're watching because I can't see it. And the dude pretty much like asked her like, have you even like dealt with or like seen blood before?
Right.
And she was like, no. So he's just like, it's like juice, I guess, because like she has no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, goes home. The little girl.
Well, because the dude tried explaining to her like what the video was showing and like the things that she's missing, and she's watching him, but it eventually gets to the point where he's blurred out and she can't hear what he's saying.
That's fucked up. Like, that's fucked up. She was like just staring at the boy like, I don't know what you saying to me right now.
But yeah, then she goes home.
Yeah, she goes home and she's drawing a picture of somebody's head getting blown away, like,
which I figured she would do because like the dude was spending all this time describing it to her, and she'd never experienced that before. So like obviously her like thought process would be like, I'm gonna try to like draw what I think he was describing.
Right. Yeah, but so when she's drawing it, she colors the blood, right? But it's blurred out, so like
even when she draws it, she can't see it.
She can't see it, right? So then she looks at her finger and she sharpens her pencil and stabs her finger, and just there's blood, but it's blurred out, and then she wipes it on her face. Like, this bitch is crazy. I'm like, she's really about to go postal or something. I'm like, I knew she was from Halloween. I knew it, like a little sister or something. So yeah, and then she's like, when she's stabbing she wasn't stabbing herself.
She was stabbing the paper.
Yeah. So after she stabbed herself, she kept stabbing the little paper, and her mom gets a notification. She pretty much has a tablet which is connected to her. And
she can see that like her daughter's heart rate is elevated, or that she's in front of something that is like not what a parent would want their child to see or whatever. So she gets a notification for that. And then, so she can press a button and see what her daughter's seeing. Right. And then she sees that, so then she, like, runs in. Right.
And she runs in, she's like, what's going on? The girl smacks her mom, like, gee, I know if I would have did that, like...
I would have got my ass whooped.
Right. Like, my mom would have beat my ass, but... So after that, they go to the little... What?
White people family.
Hey, she said it. That ain't me. She white, so I mean, hey, she can say that shit. I have an Asian
dad, okay? I don't.
I don't know what she's saying. You know, if you got some hate, that's
anybody with Asian parents, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So they go to the little doctor, whatever, and what did they say to the doctor?
So they're trying to see if like the daughter is on the spectrum, because like they don't know why she did that. But the doctor was basically just like, you've given her this implant. She's sheltered from everything, and you have to understand this implant has been banned in XYZ country, and it's probably going to be banned here at some point. And so maybe this is what the problem is.
Yeah. Which she so she takes the parental controls off, and she's like hesitant to do that. She's like, "Oh, I'm scared," like, you know. And she's a single mom. Like, I don't know if we even really said that. Like, she's a single mom, so she's really nervous, and you know, ever since the day her child got lost, so she's like, "Man, I don't know." Like, but the girl's probably 8 or 9, so like for all those years she had it on, it was like comfortable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
like sheltered to the max.
Yeah, she was sheltered. Like, just imagine that. Like, if y'all was in that position, if y'all got kids or whatever, or even if like you lost something, it's like, well, I'm fine because I know where it's at. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to worry about it. And so she, you know, took the cuffs off, took the leash off, right, and let her free. And so the girl is walking to school. There's a dog that they always used to walk by to get to school.
And it's an
even
aggressive
the mom,
dog.
like it's like a German Shepherd, and it's barking and shit like that. And ever since, you know, she was little, it was always blurred out for her. So it wasn't blurred out, and she gets scared. She's like, "What is this? I never knew what this was." Like, or at least this dog. I mean, she probably could make an assumption.
She probably knew it was a dog.
She's seen
like,
dogs before.
It scared
obviously.
her because it was probably like a lot louder and like
right, like in her face. I'm just trying to make sure it's not. Yeah. Okay. I think hopefully it's not too loud in the video, because the gain was up. I think I did it by accident when I like tried to turn it off. So hopefully it was a bit echoey too. So sorry guys, audience. Anyways, so then when she goes to school, how did the boy find out that she didn't have one?
They didn't show, but I'm sure she told him.
Yeah.
So he just starts out, he's like, "Oh, by the way, so this is porn."
All right.
like 0 to 100.
This is porn. Like, it goes to the next scene, like, this is porn. And she's watching porn, and then she's watching, what else did she watch?
Like violent videos.
He was explaining something from an actual movie.
Yeah.
It was man, I can't remember. It was some movie. I already knew what he was explaining. He's
showing her everything that he can possibly think of that she's been missing out on because she couldn't.
Yeah. Oh, Saw.
Oh yeah.
Saw. It was like, yeah, he takes a hacksaw and cuts his foot off, and that was from the first Saw movie. And then she's talking about how somebody got their head cut off, and so she's seeing all this. She's like, "What is this?" Right? So. Which we didn't talk about the transition scene, which I really like.
Yeah,
so
he really liked that scene.
And it was like something so simple, but I thought it was like dope. So when she was like 3 years old, she was on a swing, and then like it just transitions her into being like 8 or 9 years old, and I thought that was sweet. Like, I don't know. It was
a good scene.
It like, I was like, yo, you see that scene right there? Like, that was pretty dope. But anyways, so after that, she grows up. She's in high school now, and
she's 15 at this point.
Yeah, she's 15, which she looked older than that.
Yeah, she did.
Like, unless 15-year-olds really looked older, like
So many like shows and movies have, I feel like, an issue of like actually casting teenagers. They always cast like 20-somethings or like 30-somethings.
Like, ain't no
and they're
way.
Like, yeah, this person's
ain't no
like
way you
16.
15. Ain't no way you 15, right? So, so her best friend, when she was a little kid, they're talking, and they see one of the boys from the boy that showed her the porn and stuff like that.
Or at least it looks like him. We don't know if it is.
Nah,
for sure,
it's him.
It was? Okay, that's what
it has to be. Like, that would make sense for them to not
right.
keep him. Like, And it kind of sort of like, it just makes sense. Like, they kind of looked alike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so he's driving a van. He has people in the car. They're talking. They're like, you know, catching up because I guess they haven't seen each other for a while. You know what I mean?
They might have been just going back to school after a break or whatever.
Right. So he's driving the van, and they want to hang. He's like, we're going to the lake after school, whatever. Like,
typical teenage
you should come.
things.
Yeah, you should come hang out with us. Like, it'll be so fun. And she's like, the girl's like, we'll think about it. Like, you playing hard to get, but you know you're going to that lake. You feel me? So they pretty much make up a lie. Her and her friend, they're like, okay, we're gonna say we're over one of our friends' house. Like watching a movie, because they have movie night every Wednesday, and it's not Wednesday. So she tells her mom, like, yeah, we're going over what's the name's house to watch a movie. She's like, it's not Wednesday. It's like, oh well, her mom's
trying to watch The Breakfast Club.
Well, they were watching The Breakfast Club, and her mom's gonna have company on Wednesday, so we're doing it earlier in the week. Excuse me. So she's like, okay, cool. I might be home around 11:30, and the mom's like, I might not be home. I'm going out.
I'm going out. I'm getting
she about to get some of that deal. She about to get some of that D, which she does, by the way. So like, I already do it. So let me look at my notes. So yeah, she's hanging out with the boy. They're by like the little fire. They're by like a fire by the lake. And they roll up a joint, and she smokes a joint for the first time. And then after that, like, her mom was calling Sarah, the daughter, and was like, where you at, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or just checking in.
She wasn't answering.
Yeah,
and
she wasn't answering
like
the phone.
Past the time when she was supposed to be home.
Or something. She was probably just checking in on her.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, so she calls her, and she still has the parental controls off all these years since she was like 8 years old. So she hasn't had the parental controls on or anything. So she calls one of the friends' house who she was supposed to be at, and she calls her mom, and the mom was like,
yeah, they're not here.
What's going on? Like, she wasn't supposed to come over here. Like, what are you talking about? And then she calls
the other friend's mom.
Some of the other friends' moms,
yeah,
calling
to get a hold of like pretty much anybody.
Yeah, calling everybody around town, like, yo, where's Sarah? Have you seen her? Right? So she goes on a tablet and use the GPS tracking, right?
Sees that she's at the lake.
Yeah, she can pretty much you can't take the implant out. Like, it's in there forever. Yeah. So it's like, you know, she's had this tablet. She goes up to the attic, and you know the tablet has been underneath in the trunk pretty much all these years. So she plugs it in, and she sees where she's at. She's by the lake. She's like, what's going on? So she goes into the feed.
And I said before this, I was like, the mom is about to catch the daughter having sex.
Right.
And that's what happened.
And she is having sex. She's getting fucked. She's like...
She's being all like loud and shit.
She's like...
She's trying to act like a porn star pretty much because she thinks that's how she's supposed to.
Yeah, she never had sex, but she had that bedroom. She said, fuck me. Like, what the fuck?
But her mom's seen all that.
Her mom's seen it. Like, yo, this shit, I'll be devastated, man. Like, I'll be devastated, right? So the girl comes home, and the mom act like she was asleep.
Yeah.
And she's like, the girl's like, oh, I'm home.
Yeah, the mom didn't really say anything because I guess at that point she's like, oh, I overstepped my boundaries. Like, I shouldn't have.
Yeah, and she didn't have it all these years, so it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, where's that trust at? You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, I guess she's been a goody two shoes the whole time until she was 15. You know what I mean? But, anyways, so she doesn't say anything. And then the next morning, so she pretty much makes her daughter a smoothie every morning, right? So they're in the morning having their usual smoothie, and it's like, I'm not gonna be home right after school tonight. And she was like, oh, where you going? And of course she makes up another lie, like, okay, well, my friend,
I have a project.
No, my friend has a project and she need help with it, like, cause she's being so nervous about it, so I'm gonna help her, which obviously it's a lie. So she hangs out with the boy again that she had sex with, and pretty much they start doing cocaine.
Well, because she finds out that he has some, but he's like, well, I don't like use it, like it's for me to sell so that I can get money.
Right.
And then so she's basically like, but you've tried it before, right? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, I want to try it, like right here, right now. I'm ready.
And he's like, I don't. She actually forces herself, like, bitch, don't go through my shit. Like,
yeah, she goes through her shit.
She
and
goes
everything.
in the van. Yeah, grabs the damn backpack and start going through that shit. He's like, nah, like. So he actually wasn't trying to get her into that lifestyle, but she kept begging him, right? So whatever. So they like, he dips his pinky in there and puts it under her gum so she could taste it, and he's like, yeah, maybe we should not do this. And
but
then
she insists.
She's like, no, I want to do it.
Just one time.
Just one time, right? And so then she snorts the line, but while she does that, her mom
is checking in on her.
Yeah, her mom checks in on her and sees her snort the line of cocaine. I was like, damn, like, in a matter of 2 days, you see your daughter getting fucked and snorting cocaine? Like, yo, she's moving fast.
Oh, fuck.
She's moving fast, like, yo.
Like we said, this girl goes from 0 to 100
real quick. Real. So she's doing the cocaine. And she's like, damn. And pretty much, so like the next day, so she goes back home. The next day, he finds his face scanner, right?
Yeah, the mom is like looking him up.
Yeah, because like in the little
she can go
system,
through the footage,
Archangel system, she can go in the footage. She got one of the still images. She captured a screenshot of the images of what she was looking at,
face.
And outlines his face, and Google search him or something.
She basically like reversed image searched him on the internet.
I was like, yo, this is some creepy shit. Like, you can search him, and then she found out what his name was, where he worked at, all that shit.
So she finds where he works, and she goes straight there.
Which he works at a mattress factory.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
So she basically she finds him and she confronts him, and she was like, Sarah, like, you've been seeing her, whatever, cut that shit out. I don't want you seeing her. I don't want your influence on her.
Like, she was cussing him out too, like, say the fuck away,
got her
type
to do
of
drugs
shit.
or whatever.
Yeah.
She was just like laying it into him, and she was like,
she's
you
like,
better not, or I will like ruin you.
Yeah, she said, I seen what you was doing. Like, we know what you was doing, type of shit. Like, she 15. Like, but how she said that,
how she said that made it seem like that guy was older.
You know what I mean?
But we don't know how much older, because they go to the same school.
Well, he wasn't in school, was he?
I don't know. They never like established.
You would just assume that they were the same age. But
the way she said that made it seem like he was a lot older.
And he was working at a mattress factory, so like, unless they hired when they was like 15, 16, whatever.
We're assuming they hired when like kids are a little older than that.
I don't. That was kind of confusing. I don't know if that was intentional, or she was like, she's 15.
Or it could have just been emphasis the fact that she was 15.
Yeah, or maybe she didn't know who he was.
Right.
She probably just thought he was like a grown man. Like, she was like, you a junkie, fuck that shit, type of shit. So whatever, right? That's just some small little thing. That just kind of confusing.
It was kind of confusing. We weren't really sure.
Yeah. So
she decides after this, she goes to the pharmacy.
Wait, before that though, didn't she say the girl was trying to text Sarah was trying to text the boy, right?
And he wasn't replying because the mom had told the boy, like, if she contacts you, ignore her. If she calls you, don't answer it.
Right.
Because I can see everything and I will find out.
Right. So he's just ignoring her, and so Sarah goes to the mattress factory and was like, "Oh, so you ignoring me? Like, you ain't shit." Nah, just like,
she confronts him, and he's pretty much just like, "I don't want to be with you. I don't want to see you anymore. Like, this is it. We're done." And she is not very happy about that.
Right. So she's all depressed. The mom's like, "You want to go eat?" Like, no, that was beforehand. Anyways, whatever. I'm getting sidetracked. So you see somebody going to the pharmacy, but I don't know if you could tell if it was the mom or not.
Yeah, I thought it was the daughter, but
it just made sense to me. Like it was the fucking mom.
Yeah.
Like the girl is probably not thinking get a plan B type of shit, right?
Yeah, probably not.
So the mom, you know, like I said, every morning they make smoothies. So the mom put the plan B in the smoothie.
Yes,
and
so
Michelle didn't know what that was. Like,
no, I thought it was plan B.
Did you?
Well, okay, so I wasn't 100% sure on what her mom would be putting in there because it's Black Mirror. But I was like, when you said plan B, I was like, oh, okay, I can see that. But like, I also wasn't 100% sure if it was like something else or not because it's
like, you
Black
think she
Mirror.
gonna kill
it could be,
her daughter?
Not that she would kill her daughter, but it would have just been something like kind of fucked up. I don't know.
Well, so pretty much Sarah goes to school and she's in class and she's like getting dizzy and stuff, and she goes to the bathroom and starts throwing up. After that, she goes to the school nurse, and the nurse was like,
"You're fine, but this is fine. Like because
yeah.
you took the emergency contraceptive."
Right, like you ain't pregnant no more. And she's like, "Pregnant? Like what the fuck?" So
she was like, "I didn't take anything."
Right, I didn't take nothing. So she like finds out that her mom
put that in there
because she goes home and goes to the cabinet and finds it, and she's like, "Oh shit." The only way she would have found out is if she had the little implant, like Archangel thing back on. She snooped in on her. So she finds the tablet and she's like, what? So she packs all her stuff, right? And was like trying to run away from home, right?
Right.
And the mom comes home and she's like, what's going on? This bitch.
The daughter.
No, wait, like, hold on. What she say before? She said,
she starts about with "You've been watching me."
You've been watching me, and the mom's like, you know,
the
mom was just
the mom
concerned.
looks at the tablet and she's viewing it through her daughter's eyes, but she sees that her daughter is looking at her back, so her daughter had snuck up behind her.
Right. She snatches the tablet from her mom's hand and hit her with the fucking tablet.
She's hitting her the fuck
and she
out
started
with this tablet
beating her, like
because it's blurred out at this point.
Yeah.
Like, and so she just keeps hitting her and hitting her.
Yeah, she started beating her. Like, I'm like, she about to kill her mom. Which I said this, like, in the beginning or whatever. I was
Javon
like, she about to kill
earlier.
her. I said, she either going to kill herself because what I thought was going to happen is, like, she can't see shit.
Out,
Like, she can't get the implant out. She's going crazy because, like, everything's blurred out. That's bad. So she can't experience, like, she wouldn't be able to experience, like, sex or none of that. You feel what I'm saying? Or, like, you know, watching movies. Like, she can't watch Child's Play or some shit. Like, she can't watch none of that. So I'm thinking she was going to kill herself or kill her mom. So when she starts beating her mom, I'm like, I fucking knew it. I knew she was going to kill her mom. But her mom should have probably been dead. But her mom really got up like a G after that. She's all bloody
She's like,
and shit.
I'm fine.
And then during the process, the tablet breaks.
Yeah.
So
she can't use that to check up on her daughter anymore.
They must have been careful as fuck, like, for like at least 5 or 6 years when she was 3 until 8. Yeah. Like, and didn't drop the tablet or nothing like that. But pretty much the tablet's broken. She's like, the mom wakes up and she's like, Sarah,
trying to find her daughter,
Sarah.
Can't find her.
The tablet is all broken, so she can't find her.
And she's having like flashbacks to when Sarah was a baby.
Yeah, it was
Sarah
sad.
Was a kid. Yeah, it was.
It was sad because, like, damn, that was my little girl. Like, you know, like.
And she knows she fucked up at that point, and she had like lost her daughter.
Yeah, she lost her daughter. Like, I knew that was gonna happen. I'm
right.
Like, if you do this shit, like, that's what's just gonna happen. And like, being that you 15, like, your hormones, everything
is so much more dramatic to you at that age.
Like, so like, I could see where the mom was coming from. I could see where the daughter was coming from. But me, to be honest, I wouldn't dare hit my mom or none of that shit.
Never.
Like, she fucked up. Like, you know, you was fucking with no condom on, and then you was doing cocaine. Like, bitch, it's your fault too. Like, you was actually doing the shit. You know what I mean? And then you would have just been lying to your mom all this time. But whatever.
So we'll get into that debate further in a second because we're almost done with the episode. Okay. But basically, the daughter like gets picked up by a hitchhiker and she's out. And we don't know where she's going or what she's doing, but she's running away, basically.
Right.
And the mom doesn't find her. And that's how the episode ends.
Like, so I didn't think it was a good ending. I'm like,
yeah, we wanted a little more than that. Like, I don't know where they would have exactly gone with it, but it just felt like very abrupt.
But I think like now that we're talking about it, I think it was kind of good because I mean, she lost her daughter. Like, right. She got her ass beat, almost beat to death, which I'm surprised she just got up like a G.
Yeah. She was like, I'm good, guys.
Yeah, she like, I'm good. Like, it had to have been, like, within a couple of hours because it was still daytime outside. Mm-hmm. Like, she just woke up and she wasn't like, she just was walking. She was, like, limping a little bit, but she really wasn't injured like that. I'm like, how the fuck? So now that I think about it, I'm like, okay, like, damn, you lost your daughter forever. Your daughter ain't never gonna trust you because there's no way that you can get the implant out and you can't get the tablet fixed or nothing because the company isn't there anymore. Like, they stopped the production of it, so there's nothing that you can do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was the end of the episode. Mm-hmm. Episode 2, which I think I like it better than the first one.
I agree. I like this better than the first one.
I think it was more real. Like, it's some shit that can really happen.
Yeah,
you know
we can see this definitely happening.
Which they already have GPS tracking on your electronics. They already have GPS tracking on, like, don't they put that shit inside of, like, pets? Yeah. Inside of it? Yeah. Inside of them? So, like, that's some shit that can already happen. Like
I could definitely see something like this coming up in the future.
Yeah, like
which I think it brings up a good debate, like how much control is too much control with your kids, because as we said before, we can see where the daughter's coming from by feeling like smothered and like she can't like do shit, but then we also see where the mom is coming from because she wants to protect her kid and she wants the best for her kid.
But like the way that it is kind of fucked up because your kid can't grow. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
your kid can't experience that. Yeah. Like if you went through your life without any experiences, like you can't grow as a person. So and if you go ahead.
The thing is, I may not be a parent, but I like help my friends deal with issues and stuff. And I've run into like similar scenarios, like not to the same degree, but where like I see the path that my friend is going down and I'm like, you're gonna get hurt or like something bad is gonna happen. You're gonna get heartbroken, XYZ, or like, I don't think this is a good idea. But the thing is, anybody will tell you that person has to go through whatever XYZ is. They have to make their own mistakes and learn from them and grow in their experiences. You can't stop everything. You can't control their every decision. You may want the best for them, but it's not always your call. Sometimes they have to make their own mistakes, and that's how they learn from it.
Yeah. So, like, she kind of doomed her daughter from the beginning, really, you know, being all nervous and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, which I guess kind of makes sense why she had sex the first opportunity she really could, you know what I mean? And then did cocaine the next day, because, like, she don't know what that shit can do to her. Like, she hasn't experienced it, or... You know, you can't...
She's still very naive.
Yeah, she's very naive.
But she thinks that she's been exposed to all this and that she understands it. I'm sure she thinks she understands everything.
Which, I mean, like, from 8 years old till 15, I guess.
Because I think her feeling like when she had sex for the first time that she had to act like a porn star, that made me think that after that guy exposed her to porn and she had, like, the controls off, that's what she kept exposing herself to, and she was like, this is how it needs to be when you have sex. And then she could have exposed herself to like violent movies or like anything else and been like, this is how things are, and I was just sheltered from it.
Yeah, I mean, because even from, you know, when she was 3 until like 8 or 9, like that's a lot of your growing years.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
Like, you learn a lot of shit for real. Like, you learn, okay, you don't say those type of words, don't be this type of way. Because you experience other people doing that. You know what I mean? Like, you hear people cussing people out and fighting other people because you might have experienced it or something. Or heard about it. Or whatever. But if you are blocked off from that, from when you are really in your learning years, like, it's really going to fuck you up. So, but I still don't think that she should have, you know, fucking almost killed her mom. I don't know. Like... You know, that's just one of those things where I kind of don't understand that. But maybe it's just because she never really experienced that. But Yeah, it was. Like I said,
intense.
it was better than the first one because it was more real, and you know, in the first episode, how the people were. They weren't actual people, but
it's harder to connect with them.
Yeah, it's harder to connect with them because they're just like they're video game people. They're video game characters. You know what I mean? So like, even though they have real emotions and they know what they are in real life, the real life people are just going through their lives day to day without being affected. Right. You know what I mean? So,
but I think this was a really good episode because it kind of touches on the fact that parenting is like a really difficult thing. Like, it's not a cookie cutter formula where like, oh, if you do ABC, then your kid will turn out good and like safe and fine. Like, parenting is very difficult. And I think for me, growing up, I did have very strict parents. So I can definitely see where like this plays in, because your parents are like that because they want to protect you and they want the best for you. But at the same time, you as the kid, you're like, but I just like want to experience shit and I like want to live, and I feel like I'm like smothered and I like can't do anything and I'm like tied down.
I think we've all, like, a lot of people can relate to that, because I can relate to that too. Like, you know, my mom was sheltered. Like, even going to parties, like, can I go to this party? No, I don't know her. I don't know her parents. Like, like, really? Like, for real? And then, you know, when I started getting older, like, for me, it didn't start till I was like 18 where I started acting up. And I'm like, I'm only 23, but like, you know, that's when I really started acting up, because I never really experienced a lot of the stuff when I was younger. I wasn't really going to parties all like that. Like, I went to a few. I really didn't. I done a few stupid stuff, like, but you know, when I turned 18 and I really started going out, like, my mom really couldn't tell me what to do. So I'm like, okay, this person wants to do A, B, and C, and I'm down for that, because I'm like, shit, like, they provide it for me. I don't have to answer to my mom because I got my own money, my own job, and like.
I can't speak for everybody, but at least in my experience, you get to the point where like your parents can finally see that you're grown up enough and you're like making your own decisions and you're not being a complete idiot. So they realize they have to back off, and that's when they start backing off. That's how it was for me anyway. And I personally didn't act out that much once I started gaining my independence, but I can see exactly why people do. My like perspective growing up was I was sheltered and like dealt with strict parents for a lot of things, but I didn't always have like the desire to act out. Like, I didn't really regret that I was missing out on parties, but like there were some times where I was like, but I want to go hang out with my friends, and my parents are like, it's too late, or it's a school night or whatever. So like that was definitely frustrating for me, but at the same time, I never got to a point where I like really, really wanted to lash out. I just got to a point where I was like, well, this is what I want to do now, and like I'm getting older now and I'm like working with my parents. The only thing that I would say their strictness affected me on is I'm not as open to my parents as like some other people are. Like, I don't tell them that much shit about my life, and I don't like tell them about my problems. I mostly just keep shit to myself. Yeah,
I'm the complete opposite. Like, that really just taught me, because like pretty much like when I did some stupid stuff and my mom was there, you feel what I'm saying? Like my mom is my ride or die, you feel what I'm saying? And she helped me through everything. So like I'm different. Like, I've done stupid stuff and I still do stupid stuff, but like, you know, I'm it's different, you know. Like, after I've done those stupid stuff, I'm like, okay, I can really rock with my mom, like, on a friend level. Like, I still give her the respect, and, you know, I'll listen to her because she gave me good advice all these years, and I know she got my back, so.
Which I think is another thing to touch on with this episode, because when you're 15 and the age of this girl, everything seems so much more intense than it is. You feel like your parents are out to get you. You feel like whoever you're with is like the love of your life, and like everything just seems so much more intense, and it's not your fault. It's just because that's how your body's like functioning at the time.
You don't have the foresight. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but you don't have
part of it's hormones, part of it's you don't have the like.
You don't know, like I said, it's all about experience. So like if you're older than 15 or you an adult, whatever, like y'all experience stuff that when you was 15 you didn't understand how to do it, and by learning or growing up, like you've grown out of that, you're like, damn, your perspective on stuff can be even different than last year. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like growing up.
Which is why, like, I understand why the daughter had felt so violated, and like I would have too if that had happened to me. But at the same time, I feel like if the daughter would have given her mom some time, and it's not easy to have like an open conversation when you feel that upset. But at the same time, like, I think a couple years down the line, her and her mom would have had like a good conversation and understood where both of them were coming from.
I think especially like when you have female to female, like they really clash more like than if it was a 2-parent household or whatever. So like even my sisters,
that's true,
were like that. Like they clashed with my mom a lot. I didn't clash with her as much. You feel what I'm saying?
And that could also be why the mom in this episode seemed like as intent on being controlling as she was, because she didn't have another dynamic in the house.
You know how they say like it takes a village to raise a child? Like that, it wasn't, from what I saw, it wasn't like that. So it's like she got her mom to rely on. Like her mom is just raising her by herself. It seemed like it's not like she has other people to like. She did have her
grandpa initially.
Oh yeah, we skipped over that. I'm like that could have affected it.
Yeah,
because the grandpa was,
her grandpa was. I remember he seemed kind of like iffy on the idea of her having the archangel implant, and he was like, "Oh, I don't really know about that. Like back in my day, we just like let our kids go out and do what they want."
That was a good part of the show that we skipped.
But
he was like, back in my day, like we just was going outside. You feel what I'm saying? Like
you just let your kids go,
and then like. He was like, I didn't need that with you, pretty much. And then the mom was like, well, what about when I broke my arm or something like that? Like, he's like, is your arm fine?
Yeah.
So it was a good little parallel. Like, okay, because some shit is gonna happen, but you fine. You feel me? Like you raising your daughter.
If she had another dynamic there, she would have had someone to reason with her and be like, you're being too much. Like this is too intense.
Right. Like her. That was important, like the grandpa, because pretty much when she was 3 years old and the mom was going out to work, she was at work, the grandpa had a heart attack.
But because that was so like intense, it was blurred out for her.
It was blurred out, so she couldn't understand what her grandpa was saying. Her grandpa was
trying to tell her to like go get the phone.
But she couldn't understand it because it was all muffled and he was blurred, and she's like, "What is this?" She never experienced that, you feel me? And she 3, so even if you could see and hear, it's like you 3 years old, like your mom, you don't get taught like, okay, this what happens if somebody has a heart attack. But like luckily the mom had the little sensor.
She got the alert.
Yeah, she got the alert and seen that because she can take off the parental control, so she saw what the daughter was seeing, and that the grandpa, that her dad was having a heart attack. And so yeah, that was actually kind of important, I guess, that we kind of skipped over. But the grandpa ended up dying not too long after that. So, but the grandpa was like the moral. Yeah. It was like the angel and the devil. You feel me? Like he was the angel side. And
he was the voice of reason for her.
He was the voice of reason, I should say. Yeah. So that was very interesting. So from that point forward, she was just like kind of more controlling. And once it got to that point where she couldn't find her daughter, like the grandpa probably would have stepped in, was like, she'll be okay. You see the GPS tracker, she's at the lake. Like she's probably just hanging out with friends. That's what we used to do when we was a kid. You remember back when you was 15 and you did some stupid stuff, like that could have happened, but so, but yeah, do you have anything else to say?
I think we pretty much summed it up. It's definitely hard to find the right line of control that you should have when you're a parent. But in my personal opinion, if you can find a way to have like an honest conversation with your kid, that's a good place to start.
Yeah, so. But thank you for watching another video. Like I said, I don't know what channel this is going to be on. If it's going to be on Pass the Sticks, or, you know, my other channel that I'm still thinking of a name for. But leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. It'll be much appreciated. Thank you. Peace.